recording this class. No cameras need to be on for today. I almost forgot. But we were just talking beforehand about class reopening and letting everybody know about the the e-textbook. All right. So first, we're gonna watch the original text. Um, why is my audio low? Is Gabe? Can you hear me well?
It sounds weird.
It sounds weird.
Yeah, like it sounds like muffled.
Okay. I I'll try to fix something. If not, I'll just do the. Is that better?
Kind of.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, for me, it's the same thing. I think it's just her computer.
Is this my computer or your computer?
So for me, I could hear everything clearly. Maybe it's just her computer.
Maybe.
Probably.
You sound like you're underwater.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Do
that's
I?
what it sounds like.
Okay. So does it sound a little bit better at this point?
Sorta. It kind of just sounds the same. It just sounds like you're muffled. Like if you're like underwater, like she said.
I mean, well,
Okay.
it's not horrible. Like we can still hear you.
Yeah, we can still hear you, but it's just like I don't know.
Okay. I'll play the video. In the meantime, I'll try to fix whatever issue is going on with the audio. Thank you for the feedback. I greatly appreciate that. So we're gonna go ahead and watch the first scene. Meanwhile, that I try to fix my audio issue. Okay. Thank you, Miss Santiago. Miss Santiago said she just had to put up the volume and she hears me a little bit more clearly, but I'll still figure out what the issue is. So I'm going to go ahead and play the original text.
Traffic of our stage, the which, if you with patient ears attend,
I strike quickly.
Lost? Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget. I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt.
All right, so that was scene one of the original text. Does that sound a little bit better? Oh, okay, perfect. I just had, I guess, switch headphones. I guess wired headphones are a lot better than wireless. All right, so we're gonna go in to scene one with you all reading the modern version. I just want to remind everybody on how to find who is saying who it has which role in scene one. So if you go under announcements, and then you click on Act 1, Period 3, and it has everybody's assigned role per scene, color coded, so it's easy for you all to see. Okay, and the last few weeks we're talking about the setting, and we're talking about the different literary devices that you will be hearing throughout the play. So those are going to be some of the questions that you may encounter. And if you do get picked randomly for one of these questions, and it's about metaphor and pun, we'll talk about it together and we'll work through it together. So do not feel like nervous or feel like, oh, I don't know this answer. We'll work through this together. So do not worry whatsoever. All right. So there's 10 questions for scene one, and I'm going to assign randomly students the questions. So question one, when Samson says he will not carry coals, what does he mean, and what literary technique is being used in the silly exchange between Samson and Gregory? So for the first question, it's gonna it's going to go to Alexa Jimenez. So make sure that you all write down your question. Question number 2, is Benvolio a Montague or a Capulet? And that's going to go, you don't have to answer it now. Once we read the modern version, you will answer it. Miguel, that'll be your question. And I'll stop throughout the play while you guys are all saying your lines. And I'll tell you, okay, we'll stop right there and to answer a question. And then question number 3, why doesn't Lady Capulet want her husband to get involved in the fight? And that question is going to go to Liliana. 4, how many times have the Capulets and Montagues had street fights recently? And that's going to go to Perla. Question number 5, it's going to be, what metaphor is in Benvolio's response to Lady Montague? What image does this metaphor create? What particular information does it also convey? So that question number 5 is going to go to Kat. Question number 6, how has Romeo been spending his days recently? That question is going to go to Daniel. Question number 7, list the three of the oxymorons Romeo uses to describe the conflict between his family and the Capulets. Then explain how the family feud is oxymoronic in its nature. So question number 7 will go to Alexa Valdominos. The questions are found on Nearpod. You won't write them down. You will answer them verbally. Question number 8. Romeo is heartsick over a girl, and it's not Juliet, who is not at all interested in Romeo. Name 3 of the ineffective romantic strategies Romeo has used in his attempt to woo this girl. So that question will go to Ayari. Question number 9. Why doesn't this girl like Romeo? That question is going to go to Alexa Jimenez. I know you're answering 2 questions, but you know, sometimes that's how the random generator picks it. Just sometimes you'll get it twice or once. Question number 10 will go to Raimundo, which is, what does Benvolio tell Romeo to do in order to forget the girl who doesn't want him? All right, so make sure that you have written down which question you're answering, and I'll repeat who's answering each question, which would be question number 1, Alexa Jimenez, question number 2, Miguel, question number 3, Liliana, 4, Perla, 5, Kat, 6, Daniel, 7, Alexa Valdovinos, 8, Ayari, number 9, Alexa Jimenez again, and 10, Raimundo. All right, so this will be, Miguel, you will be question number 2. All right, so this will be still be posted on Nearpod, so you can reference it. If you have the book available open already, go ahead and go to that book already. I'm going to put the link to this book on the chat box. So if you don't have it open yet, you can, and you can follow along. When it's your turn, you could definitely look at my screen or look at your own screen. Okay. Before we start, I just want to let everybody know there is a little part of the video of the original text where it talks about biting the thumb. Now, back in the day, biting the thumb meant like it's like the equivalent of like when you're giving somebody the bird or, you know, flipping them off. You know, back in the day, if you bit your thumb at somebody, it was like you were flipping them off. Right? So they had, we talk about language. We talk about how as time goes on, different words have different meanings, and different like symbols, different gestures have different meanings as we progress through our history and throughout time. So my nephew always doing that though. He's always biting his thumb. Maybe maybe he was born in the Elizabethan era and he already knew that, and he might be telling you something. But yes, so that is the first thing I want to talk to you about. And then the second one, the person who's going to be reading Samson, which is Ryan, there is a word that you may not be comfortable saying. If you're not comfortable saying, you could always skip through it and we could just go on. Just want to let you know. But that being said, we could go ahead and get started. Ariana did such an amazing job doing the prologue last week, and we answered the questions last week of the prologue. So now we're on scene 1. We just heard the original text. We have the questions already. Our first duo is going to be Samson and Gregory, which is Ryan and Sion. So whenever you're ready, you can start. I am just going to read that little stage direction where it says, Samson and Gregory, servants of the Capulet family, enter carrying swords and small shields. And I will be telling you to stop at a certain spot so we can answer the questions. All right, so whenever you're ready, Ryan, you can start, kick us off for today. Let's make sure that Ryan's here. Yeah, Ryan. So
I read the left side, right?
No, you're gonna read the right side.
Oh, the right side.
The right side has the modern version. The left side is the original text. So you want to read on this side. All right, so you can go start at any time.
Gregory, I swear we can't let them humiliate us. We won't take their garbage.
No, because then we'd be garbage men.
What I mean is, if they make us angry, we'll pull out our swords.
Well, maybe you should be pulling yourself out of trouble, Samson.
I hit hard when I'm angry.
But it's hard to make you angry.
We're gonna stop right there really quick. Good job, both of you. I love it. Let's answer the first question, which is, when Samson says he will not carry coals, what does he mean? What literary technique is being used in the silly exchange between Samson and Gregory? So that's Alexa Jimenez. I know that we went over figurative language. Do you know? Do you have an idea of what is being used? And we have to take a look at the original text. So Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals. No, for then we should be coilers. Do you know what figurative language they're using? Is it like metaphor, simile, alliteration, pun, oxymoron?
Is it like a metaphor?
Good. Thank you for participating and definitely giving giving your best shot. It is not a metaphor. It's actually a pun, believe it or not. So back in the days, coilers. So okay, when they say will not carry coals, is trying to say will not let them insult us. Okay, so this is a pun because Gregory then jokes that if they did not carry coals or endure the insults, then there will be coilers. So coilers back then would be people who sell coal for a living. I know it doesn't make sense to us, but to the Elizabethan times, this would be a pun and they would understand the connection between the coal and the coilers. So thank you, Alexa. I know that it's a little strange, but that's the pun. So thank you for trying your best and participating. Greatly appreciate it. All right, so we left off where it says, but it's hard to make you angry, I believe. So Ryan, continue on.
One of those dogs from the
Montague?
Montague house can make me angry.
Angry enough to run away. You don't stand and fight.
A dog from that house will make me angry enough to take a stand. If I pass one of them on the street, I'll take the side closer to the wall and let them walk in the gutter.
That means you're the weak one, because weaklings get pushed up against the wall.
You're right. That's why girls get pushed up against walls. They're weak. So what I'll do is push the Montague men into the street and the Montague women up against the wall.
The fight is between our masters and men who work for them.
It's all the same. I'll be a harsh master to them. After I fight the men, I'll be nice to the women. I'll cut off their heads.
Cut off their heads? You mean their maiden heads?
Cut off their heads, take their maid heads, whatever, or maiden heads, whatever. Take the remark in whichever sense you like.
The women you take are the ones who will have to sense it.
They'll feel me as long as I can keep. Okay. Everybody knows I'm a nice piece of flesh.
It's a good thing you're not a piece of fish and you're re-dried and shriveled like salted fish.
Abraham and the other servant of the Montagues enter. That's Gregory still.
Pull out your tool now. These guys are the house of Montague.
I have my naked sword out fight. I'll back you up.
How you back me up? By turning your back and running away?
Don't worry about me.
No, really, I am worried about you.
Let's not break the law by starting a fight. Let
them start something.
let them start something.
I'll frown at them as they pass by, and they can react however they want.
I mean, however they dare, I'll bite my thumb at them. That's an insult, and if they let me get away with it, they'll be dishonored.
Hey, are you biting your thumb at us, sir?
I'm biting my thumb.
Are you biting your thumb at us?
Is the law on our side? I say yes.
No.
No, sir, I'm not biting my thumb at you, but I am biting my thumb.
Are you trying to start a fight?
Start a fight? No, sir.
If you want to fight, I'm your man. My employer is as good as yours.
And that's Joanna right there.
But he's not better than mine.
Well then.
Benvolio enters.
Say better. Here comes one of the employer's relatives.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Pull out your swords if you're men, Gregory. Remember how to slash.
They fight. And then the next question is coming up. Yeah. So is Benvolio a Montague or a Capulet? So that one's coming up. And then next one's going to be coming up is why doesn't Lady Capulet want her husband to get involved in the fight? So those two questions are coming up. So be ready. So go ahead, take it, Benvolio, which is Alexa Valdivinos.
Break it up, you fools. Put your swords away. You don't know what you're doing.
Tybalt enters. And before we go on to the next part, which Tybalt is Marvella. Question number 2, Miguel. We talked about the family tree last week. Is Benvolio a Montague or a Capulet?
I think it's a Montague.
Yes, you got it. It is a Montague. We talked about the family tree last week about where we discussed who's related to who. So good job, Miguel. Next question, Leanna. Why doesn't Lady Capulet want her husband to get involved? That is coming up. So make sure to pay attention to the next part. All right, so Tybalt, Marvella, go ahead, take it away.
Will you pull out of yours to fight with those worthless servants? Turn around, Benvolio, and look at the man who's going to kill you.
Let's start again.
While you pull out your swords and to fight with those worthless servants, turn around, Benvolio, and look at the man who's going to kill you.
Thank you so much.
I'm only trying to keep the peace. Either put away your sword or use it to help me stop this fight.
While you take out your swords and then talk about peace, I hate the word peace like I hate hell. All Montagues and you, let's go at it, coward.
Benvolio and Tybalt fight. 3 or 4 citizens of the watch entered with clubs and spears. So citizens, which would be Diana, go ahead, read your part.
Use your clubs and spear. Hit them. Beat them down. Down with the Capulets. Down with the Montague.
Perfect. Good job. Capulet enters with his gown together with his wife, Lady Capulet. So Capulet would be David and Lady Capulet would be Vanessa. So go ahead, David.
What's this noise? Give me my long sword. Come on.
Go ahead, Vanessa. I know you're having technology issues. I was wondering if you can unmute yourself to read your part. Perfect. If not, I'll take your part.
A crutch. You need a crutch. Why are you asking for a sword?
Perfect. So we're gonna stop right there real quickly. Next question would be the question would be for Liliana. Why doesn't Lady Capulet want her husband to get involved with the fight? What does she tell him?
She tells him that he needs a crutch instead of a sword.
Yeah, so a crutch is usually we use that to walk. So what is she trying to tell him?
That he's too old to be fighting.
Good job. Yes, he is too old to be fighting. Good job. Next question will be question number 4, which is Bedla. How many times have Capulets and Montagues had street fights recently? So that's coming up, okay? We left off right here. So Montague enters with his sword drawn together with his wife, Lady Montague. So the Capulet again, so that would be David once again.
Oh, my sword. Old Montague is here and he's waving his sword around just to make me mad.
And then Montague is going to be Alexa Rodriguez and Lady Montague is Liliana. So Alexa Rodriguez, you are up.
Capulet, you villain. His wife. Do I have to read the parentheses?
No, that's just stage directions.
So it says, enter with his sword drawn together with his wife.
Okay. So you don't have to read the parentheses, what's in there. You just have to read the sections on the side. So you would say, Capulet, you villain. You don't stop me. Let me go.
Do I have to do it again?
Yeah, just do it one more time.
Capulet, you villain. Don't stop me. Let me go.
Perfect. Thank you. Lady Montague,
You are not taking one step towards an enemy.
Prince Iscalius enters with his escort. So Christian, that's you.
You rebels, enemies of the peace, men who turn their weapons against their own neighbors, they won't listen to me. You there, you men, you beasts, who satisfy your anger with fountains of each other's blood. I'll have you tortured if you don't put your swords and listen to your angry prince. 3 times now riots have broken out in this city, all because of a casual word from you. Old Capulet and Montague, 3 times the peace has been disturbed in our streets, and Roran's old citizens have had to take off their dress clothes and pick up rusty old spears to part you. If you ever cause a disturbance in our streets again, you'll pay for it with your lives. Everyone else, go away for now. You, Capulet, come with me. Montague, this afternoon come to Old Freetown, the court where I delivered judgments. Now tell you what else I want from you. As for the rest of you, I'll say this once more: go away or be put to death.
Everyone exits except Montague, Lady Montague, and Benvolio. So before we progress, I think it's Bedla. How many times has the Montagues and the Capulets fought? Okay, you just they fought recently 3 times in the street. Good job, Bedla. I know. Thank you for letting me know you're having internet issues. I greatly appreciate it. So next question, what metaphor is Benvolio's response to Lady Montague? What image does this metaphor create? What particular information does it also convey? Okay, and that question is for Kat. Don't worry, Kat, you know, we'll discuss figurative language and we'll work through it together. You know, we already know it's a metaphor. It's just, we're gonna identify what metaphor it is, okay? So just be ready for that. So Montague again, which is Alexa Rodriguez. So go ahead, take it away for us. You can start with who started.
Who started this old fight up again? Speak, nephew. Where were you? Were you here when it started?
Okay, Benvolio, which is Alexa Valdivinos.
Your servants were fighting your enemy servants before I got here. I drew my sword to part them. Right then, that hothead Tybalt showed. Did I say it right? He taunted me and waved his sword around, make the air his. As we were trading blows, more and more people showed up to join the fight until the prince came and broke everyone up.
Oh, where's Romeo? Have you seen him today? I'm glad he wasn't here for this fight.
Madame, I had a lot on my mind an hour before dawn this morning, so I went for a walk underneath the sycamore grove that grows on the west side of the city. I saw your son taking an early morning walk. I headed toward him, but he saw me coming and hid in the woods. I thought he must be feeling the same way I was, wanting to be alone and tired of his own company. I figured he was avoiding me, and I was perfectly happy to leave him alone and keep to myself.
Let's take a look. I'm gonna make sure that you guys can hear me. My other computer just turned on. So we still haven't gotten to this part yet. So I'm just gonna make sure that we. So we have metaphor is Benvolio's response to Lady Montague? Was that? Oh, there's one. It was I think 6:40. Yeah, it's a little bit down. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted. The question: what is a metaphor? What metaphor? We still haven't gotten there yet, I believe. So let's go ahead and continue. Montague, take it away.
He's been there many mornings, crying tears that add drops to the morning dew and making a cloudy day cloudier with his sighs. But as soon as the sun rises in the east, my sad son comes home to escape the light. He locks himself up alone in his bedroom, shuts his windows to keep out the beautiful daylight, and makes himself an artificial night. This mood of his is going to bring bad news unless someone smart can fix what's bothering him.
Actually, we just answered 2 questions, so we actually did go over the last previous question. So we'll step back. Sorry, there was a lot of things going on. Computer turned off, then somebody came in. So let's take it back. What metaphor is in Benvolio's response to Lady Montague? What image does his metaphor create? What particular information does it also convey? So this question is for Kat. So I'm going to read the metaphor for you real quick. Madam, an hour before worship's sun peered forth the golden window of the east. So Kat, what do you think that represents?
Did you say?
Was that?
Did you say cat?
Yes.
Oh, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, so there's a metaphor in what Benvolio is saying. He says, Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east. What is he saying? And you try your best. I know sometimes metaphors can be a little tricky. So let's talk about the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east. So we know there's a sun. Peered, sometimes we think about it as like they're looking in, like being a little sneaky about it. So that's also personification there, but we're thinking about the metaphor. So he peered forth the golden window of the east. So sun, east. Is there a connection that you can make potentially, Kat?
No, I'm confused.
You're confused? No worries. I'm going to help you out. So let's think about it this way. I'm trying to lock my other computer in. Let's think about it this way. Where does the sun rise? Is it the east or the west? Or if that's a little tricky, let's think about it as, does it go, if we're like looking down, does it go from left to right or right to left?
Right to left?
Actually, like if you're laying down, east, so, you have north. I know that because of the cameras, it might be a different direction, but we have north, east, south, and then west on this side. So east would be right. If I'm looking at this way, right to left. So yeah, you're right. But if we're laying down, like let's say I'm in my bed, if we're laying back and down, it would be left to right. So it just kind of depends on where you're at. But you are correct that if we're standing this way, it will be right to left. So if the sun is at the east, we know that it's sunrise, and it's peeking through the window, the golden window. So it's telling us it's the morning. That's essentially what it's trying to say. That's the metaphor. I know a lot of you might be saying, oh, that just to say it's the morning. Yeah, it's just the creativeness of what Shakespeare is saying. You know, it's the sun is being peered through the golden window. It's just saying it's the morning. So thank you, Kat. Thank you for participating. And then the next question would be Daniel, which is what has Romeo been doing lately? So what did Montague, his father, say that Romeo has been doing lately? So Daniel?
Can you repeat the question real quick?
Yes, look, your question is, what has Romeo been doing lately, based on what his father said?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention because I didn't hear that I was supposed to answer a question, so I'll have to look back into everything real quick. Sorry.
So it's in the screen right now. Right here, he just said it. So it says he's been seen there many mornings crying tears that add drops to the morning dew and making a cloudy day cloudier with his sighs. But as soon as the sun rises in the east, my sad son comes home to escape the light. Well, so what has he been doing?
He's been sad lately, but as like how they say, as the sun rises in the east, my sad son comes to escape the light, which means that eventually he becomes happy.
Well, right here where it says, but as soon as the sun rises in the east, my sad son comes to home to escape the light. So at night, he's like walking around just thinking, but then during the day, he goes into his house, into his room to just escape. He doesn't want to be around people. So essentially, he's isolating himself. So you can say he's a little bit depressed, he's a little sad, and just doesn't want to be around people. So thank you, Daniel, for participating and giving your best go. We greatly appreciate it.
I kind of didn't hear when you said who was answering the questions, so because I at first I thought I didn't have to do anything, but yeah sorry.
Just make sure that you guys are answering the question, paying attention and all that. But that's fine. At least we know that we have to make sure we're actively participating in this. So thank you, Daniel. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on. The next question that is coming up. So Daniel just went to number 7, oxymorons. List 3 of the oxymorons Romeo uses to describe the conflict between his family and the Capulets. And just a reminder, an oxymoron is when two words are put together and they have a contradiction. Happy, sad. Happy, angry. There's the contradiction. I'm trying to think of some that we thought that we've done lately, but it's just they're put together and they contradict themselves. All right, so we'll go. We'll see some examples as we read, but let's go ahead and continue with Benvolio. So Benvolio is Alexa Bondolino. So right here where it says my noble uncle.
My noble uncle, do you know why he acts this way?
I don't know, and he won't tell me.
Go ahead, Benvolio.
Have you done everything you could to make him tell you the reason?
I've tried, and many of our friends have tried to make him talk, but he keeps his thoughts to himself. He doesn't want any of his friends to want any friend but himself, and though I don't know whether he's a good friend to himself, he certainly keeps his own secrets. He's like a flower bud that won't open itself up to the world because it's been poisoned from within by parasites. If he could only find out why he's sad, we'd be as eager to help him as we learn to the reason for his sadness.
So Romeo enters. So go ahead, Benvolio.
Look, here he comes. If you don't mind, please step aside. He'll either have to tell me what's wrong or else tell me no over and over.
I hope you're lucky enough to hear the true story by sticking around. Come on, madam, let's go.
Montague and Lady Montague exit. So now it's Benvolio and Romeo. So Benvolio is Alexa Latavinos, and Romeo is Jose. So go ahead, take it away, Benvolio. Alexa Latavinos.
My bad. It's only just 9 o'clock.
No, it's right here, where it says, good
Oh.
morning, cousin.
Good morning, cousin.
Let me just make sure this is here. I don't see it. Okay, so I'm going to take over Romeo. Is it early in the day? Go ahead, Benvolio. So Alexa Latavinos. We're going to be talking back and forth, so just be ready for that.
It was it's only just 9 o'clock.
Oh my, time goes by slowly when you're sad. Was that my father who left here in such a hurry?
It was. What's making you so sad and your hours so long?
I don't have the thing that makes time fly.
You're in love?
Out.
Out of love?
I love someone. She doesn't love me.
It's sad. Love looks like a nice thing, but it's actually very rough when you experience it.
What's sad is that love is supposed to be blind, but it can still make you do whatever it wants. So where should we eat? Oh my, what fight happened here? No, don't tell me. I know all about it. This fight has a lot to do with hatred, but it has more to do with love. Oh, brawling love. Oh, loving hate. Love that comes from nothing. Sad happiness. Seriously, foolishness. Beautiful things muddled together onto an ugly mess. Love is heavy and light, bright and dark, hot and cold, sick and healthy, asleep and awake. It's everything except what it is. This is the love I feel, though no one loves me back. Are you laughing? We'll pause right there. The next question, Alexa Latavinos. So we just heard a bunch of oxymorons. Which ones, can you identify 3? And they have to contradict themselves. So it's like they're words put together that are the opposite of each other. So an example of this, loving hate.
Oh, sad happiness?
Sad happiness, that's one. Can you give me 2 more?
Serious foolish.
This. And another one. One more.
Broadening love?
Brawling love. Yes. Yes. So those are the 3 oxymorons that Romeo is using. And he uses this to really show the contradiction, because it says that this has to do with hatred, but what's all about is love, because even though both families hate each other, they love their own families. So they have a lot of things more in common. So for example, in the prologue, it talks about both alike in dignity. So they're both similar in social class. And as we progress, we'll see that they have very, very similar personalities. They have a very similar, overall, they're very similar human beings, that they should be loving each other instead of actually hating each other. So thank you, Alexa Valdivinos. The next question will go to Ayari. So go ahead and repeat the question. Romeo is heartsick over a girl who is not interested in Romeo. Name 3 of the ineffective romantic strategies Romeo has used in his attempt to woo this girl. So you will hear that momentarily. So go ahead, Alexa Valdivinos. I know you have been reading a lot, but let's progress. So you're gonna start off where it says no, cousin.
No, cousin, I'm crying.
Good man. Why are you crying?
I'm crying because of how sad you are.
Yes, this is what love does. My sadness sits heavy in my chest, and you want to add your own sadness to mine? So there's even more? I have too much sadness already. Have you? And now you're going to make me sadder by even feeling sorry for you. Here's what love is: a smoke made out of lovers' sighs. When the smoke clears, love is fire burning in your lover's eyes. If you frustrate love, you can get an ocean made out of lovers' tears. What else is love? It is wise form of madness. It is a sweet lozenge that you choke on. Goodbye, cousin.
Wait, I'll come with you. If you leave me like this, you're doing me wrong.
I'm not myself. I'm not here. This isn't Romeo. He's somewhere else.
Tell me seriously, who is the one you love?
Seriously? You mean I should groan and tell you?
Grown, no, but tell me seriously, who is it?
You wouldn't tell a sick man he seriously has to make his will. It would just make him worse. Seriously, cousin, I love a woman.
I guessed that already when I guessed you were in love.
Then you were right on target. The woman I love is beautiful.
A beautiful target is the one that gets hit the fastest.
Well, you're not on target there. She refuses to be hit by Cupid's arrow. She's as clever as Diana and shielded by the armor of chastity. She can't be touched by the weak and childish arrows of love. She won't listen to the words of love or let you look at her with loving eyes or open her lap to receive the gifts of gold. She's rich in beauty, but she's also poor because when she dies, her beauty will be destroyed with her. So we'll pause right there. Ayari, we just mentioned what Romeo did to try to woo Rosaline. What did he try to do?
Wait, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Well, one of the things is that he tried to look into her eyes, meaning like, hey, like, hi. And he also tried to talk to her and tried to convince her of like how he loved her and, words. And then there was one more.
Yes.
Oh, and he gave her gifts and attempts to make her laugh, right? Yeah.
Yes. So he's trying to, you can say persuade, because look at the correct word it is. It was kind of sweet talk. That's what I was looking for. He was trying to sweet talk her, and he was trying to linger eyes. When you try to meet each other in the eyes and you're just looking at each other, but that didn't work. And he even tried to give the gifts of gold, and that didn't work. So we're going to go ahead and go on to the next question, which is, why doesn't this girl like Romeo? And that's Alexa Jimenez. Okay. So we're almost done, Alexa Valdovinos. I know you've read a lot, but thank you for participating. You got this, okay? So go ahead, take it before it says, so she's made.
So she's made a vow to be virgin forever.
Yes, she has, and by keeping celibate, she wastes her beauty. If you starve yourself of sex, you can't even have children. So your beauty is lost to future generations. She's too beautiful and too wise to deserve heaven's blessing by making me despair. She's sworn off love, and that promise has left me alive but dead, living only to talk about it now. We're gonna stop right there. Alexia Jimenez, why doesn't this girl love him? What has she promised not to do? Or what has she promised to do? Alexa Jimenez.
Wait, what was the question?
Yeah, so why doesn't this girl love Romeo?
Because she doesn't really feel like he's really in love with her.
So Romeo just says, so I'm going to repeat what I just read. Yes, she has, and by keeping celibate, she wastes her beauty. If you starve yourself of sex, you can't ever have children, and so your beauty is lost to future generations. She's too beautiful and too wise to deserve heaven's blessings by making me despair. She's sworn off love, and that promise has left me alive but dead, living only to talk about it now. So celibacy, if you might not know, is when you tell yourself or you make a promise to yourself that you're not going to have sex, sometimes until after you've been married. But in this case, she's vowed her life to a specific thing, person, or faith. So what do you think she has made a promise to do?
She's made a promise to not love anyone.
Yeah, in essence, she made a promise to love only. She made a promise to be a nun, in a sense, a Catholic nun, where you don't have, you don't have sex. You don't, you're basically married to Jesus. You're married to the faith. Okay? So that's what she is promised to do. All right. So last but not least, the last question. What does Benvolio tell Romeo to do in order to forget the girl who doesn't want him? All right. So we left off right here. So Benvolio, go ahead and take it away. Alexa Valdovinos, it says, take my advice.
Take my advice. Don't think about her.
Teach me to forget to think.
Do it by letting your eyes wander freely. Look at other beautiful girls.
So we're going to stop right there. Raimundo, what advice does Benvolio give to Romeo?
Benvolio tells Romeo to let his eye wander freely and look at other beautiful girls.
Exactly. So Benvolio is telling Romeo, look at other girls. Forget about her. So thank you, Raimundo. I was about to call you Romeo. Sorry. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say the last scene. That will only make me think more about how beautiful she is. Beautiful women like to wear black masks over their faces. Those black masks only make us think about how beautiful they are underneath. A man who goes blind can't forget the precious eyesight he lost. Show me a real beautiful girl. Her beauty is like a note telling me where I can see someone even more beautiful. Goodbye. You can't teach me to forget. Last line, Benvolio. So that's 11 minutes. Last one.
I'll show you how to forget, or else I'll die owing you that lesson.
So good job, everybody. We managed scene 1. Good job. So we answered all the questions. We only have about 5 minutes, so we can take this time to do the dialectical journals. So as a reminder, these dialectical journals, and this is one of the main reasons why we're not doing journals on Tuesdays and Wednesdays anymore, because we're going to be doing the dialectical journal. So just a friendly reminder, you find this dialectical journal if you go down to the agenda of the week. So we go on to dialectical journal on the bottom. And a document will open. And we'll have time tomorrow to work on this, but I'm just gonna show you quickly how you will do this dialectical journal. So Act 1, Scene 1, it's down here. So you go on to Edit Document and you click on Edit. So you would first choose a quote that helps you understand what the bigger picture is, what the story is about. So one thing that I'm going to set this as an example. One thing that I really thought helped me understand the character of Romeo, and I'm going to share my whole screen. So this scene right here, where Montague says, he's been seen there are many mornings crying tears that add drops to the morning dew and making a cloudy day cloudier with his sighs. But as soon as the sun rises in the east, my sad son comes home to escape the light. He locks himself up alone in the bedroom, shuts his windows to keep out the beautiful daylight, and makes himself artificial night. This mood of his is going to bring bad news unless someone smart can fix what's bothering him. So what I would do is I would write down page number. So page number is up on the top. So it says page 6. And then I would write here this whole quote right here. Remember, if you're writing quotes, you need to put the quotation marks. And then you write, he's been seen there. And then you would write that whole section. So I'm not going to write it because of time. But at the end, you put parentheses, page 6. And on this side, you would discuss in your own words what that phrase is saying. So I would say, Romeo is very depressed throughout the night. He spends it wandering around just in his own thoughts. And during the day, he spends it essentially in a cave in his own room, not wanting to talk to anybody. And then on this section right here at the end, how does this quote add to your understanding? This shows me how love-struck he is. That by just with one girl that said no to him, he is so sad. So he's just driven by his feelings, and he's very impulsive, and talking a little bit about it. So we'll definitely give you all time tomorrow to do your dialectical journal. We only done scene 1. You'll do 2 of these dialectical journals per scene in Act 1. As we progress, the scenes get shorter, so you will only do 1 dialectical journal per scene. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Thank you all for participating today. Thank you for putting, yes, any quote that helps your understanding of the story. It's a great question. So thank you all for actively participating and being part of the actual reading of the plays and parts. Greatly appreciated. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.
Mr. Aguilar, I got a question.
Yes, Carlos.
Can we do the journal today?
So this is going to be due at the end of Act 1. So we still have some time. We have a couple weeks until we finish Act 1.
Also, we're gonna do one tomorrow. I mean, I think 1 or 2.
Tomorrow we'll do another scene, maybe 2 scenes tomorrow. But we'll give you all time to do the dialectical journals tomorrow as well.
Oh, okay then. All right then. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
See you tomorrow. You too. Thank you.
I have a question.
Bye, Miss
Yeah, go ahead,
Santiago.
Alex.
Have a nice day.
Yes.
Bye.
I have a question as well.
Go ahead.
So let's say when they tell you that we will, if we do go back to school, will they tell you the days we will go back?
Yes. So it will probably be very similar to what we had in the beginning of the year, which it would be like Tuesday would be like the in-person, and Wednesday's going to be online. I think that's how they're going to go.
So we would go back like by this month. So let's say like they tell you, oh, we're going back like in what, like 2 weeks, or like they're gonna tell you like that.
Yeah, they'll tell us in the meeting. They'll tell us this is the day that we have planned to come back. So I'll email you guys with all the information once I know it by the meeting today.
So they're still doing the thing that splits up by last name?
I don't know if they will split it up by last name because, for example, in this class, I have 7 A through L, and the rest are M through Z. So it's not going to work very well. So they're going to figure out the best way to evenly divide everything.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, Ms. Santiago, thank you. I like your suggestion. I was reading it, I was just like, oh, that would be cool. I think once we get done with the questions and all that, I think that would be a neat thing to do, like reenact the original.
Yeah. Every time I'd read it, because for when I was in high school, we had to read the old one, and we would just all put so much like character into it because you're trying to read like thou and all that stuff that the weird. Well, they're weird to us, but I guess it's normal back then.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that if we're in person, I would totally go for the original one. But I think just because we're a distance, I am just trying to do that.
Yeah, a little bit easier for them to understand.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen the modern, like read any modern text of Romeo and Juliet, and I just find it funny.
Yeah, it's completely different. Like once I've heard the original one, I'm just like, I kind of like the original better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, hopefully that went well. I just had like minor issues with this computer turning off, and I had to completely switch the other computer. Mr. Campbell walked in, and I was just like, hi. So I was just like, it threw me off. And I was just like, oh man, Alrighty, well, thank you so much for helping out. We'll see you Thursday.
Okay.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.